Let's create the last solver. It is about the pure convection. Okay, so it is pure convection, so one can also add up the convection diffusion equation and switch off dt equal to 0, so this term goes to 0, or we can create a new solver. So I prefer to go with the new solver creations. Okay, so again let's add up the solver from our release version. Okay, so I'm going towards application solver, let's say scalar transport. Okay, here let's paste the scalar transport. What name we want the pure convections as a name. Okay, so let change this name as a pure convections. So 005 pure convection form. Okay, now immediately change the .c file name. Okay, after that also change inside the file, so our name is pure convection form. Don't forget to write the user application bin. Okay, so we are set with this setting. Immediately before you do any further change, first go to the folder. Okay, and first type wclean.all wmac and make sure solver is compiling correctly. Okay, it's fine. Then now edit both the files. So start with the create field, so we require the t as a variable here. Okay, and this is the phi is a flux, so we going to create the flux based on the u that is required. We don't require any transport property, so we can delete this portion. From the phi from the u we try to create the flux, create flux we have here. Okay, we write down same name as a description. Okay, and solve pure convection equations. Okay, IO option not required, delete that part. Okay, calculate, same thing we write down here, pure convection equation. Okay, column number let it be outside only. Okay, here we don't require Laplacian part or anything, so delete everything. We have very simple two term, one is temporal term, another is the spatial advection term based on the flux of t. That's it. So we are set with the solver. Okay, so let's compile the solver and check how it's look like. So it's compiled correctly. Now let's add up the test case where we can say that the in a long bar, okay, it is 1D. Okay, so from the this side the we specifying the velocity, okay, equal to 1. Okay, and we can say that temperature or the scalar t equal to 1, that is propagating with the help of the provided velocity. Okay, and for that we going to also checks few more quantities like effect of CFL number or current number, or effect of, let's say, different class of the schemes. So few things we try to observe with the help of this very simple test case. So let's create the test case. So test case I already have. So pure convections, let's check with respect to CFL conditions. Okay, so with respect to CFL conditions, okay, so let's start with the different CFL conditions. So what we going to do, we try to run the case for CFL condition 0.01, 0.1, 0.05, 1, 5 and 10. Okay, so accordingly we are changing the delta t if we fix the grid as a one quantity. Okay, so let's open the readme file. Okay, pure convection we are set. So readme file, just look at the block mesh, and in the x direction we have 100 as a number of cell, and in the x direction we have a 1 meter as a length. So our delta x is equal to 0.01. we are fixing 0.01 is a delta x. Okay, and then open the here. So CFL conditions equal to 0.01, that means and we are fixing the velocity equal to 1. So CFL equal to what? U delta t divided by delta x. Okay, so delta x equal to, so u star, this is the CFL conditions. So if we have a u equal to 1, delta t we want to find out for CFL equal to 0.01 and delta x equal to 0.01. so we are fixing the delta t equal to so 1 e minus 4. Okay, so like that way we are fixing the CFL number. So we want to quantify the effect of CFL number very quickly. Okay, so even though I wrote here the scalar transport, if you want you can change the name as a pure convection form, whatever we develop right now. Okay, so that is what we have, and we're going to run for something like 0.5 second only. Okay, so and as far as the boundary condition is concerned, let's check. At a 0 folder we have both the files. Okay, in the T file we are saying top bottom 0 gradient. Inlet we are specifying the value equal to 1 with which our scalar quantity is entering inside the domain, and u wise we say that everywhere it equal to 1 in internal domain, at the inlet also it equal to 1. Okay, so in the x direction we specify the velocity with which the scalar as a t is supposed to propagate, okay, inside the domain. So that is the idea, and we're going to simulate it for something like 0.5 or 0.6 second, and then we try to compare the result with the exact solution for different CFL values. Okay, so that is the idea. So let's do it very quickly. So for that what we're going to do, we first let's say run the case so we have an idea how it is performing. So go here, go to the folder OF30X. okay, block mesh is fine, so check the mesh how it look like. Apply. So this is the what domain, okay, and this is the 1D mesh. Okay, so here is the in and here is the out. Okay, so now let's run. Okay, I supposed to give name as a my convective form, pure convective form, that is better. We are consistent with the naming, it is better to change this name as a my pure convective form. Okay, so when you change here we have to change at few places my, so I am also replacing here as a my. Okay, as well as inside this also we try to change it so we have a same name. So but we already have a previously compiled name, so it is better if we delete that from the bin folder. So go to the area, home, open form, platform, here bin, we have a pure convection form, so we are deleting this part, so we are now clean with that. So w clean dot all. Okay, so when you type w clean dot all, whatever the previously compiled files we wash out. Okay, and then say wmac. So now we are compiling for my pure convection form. Okay, so same thing, let me correct it here as well. Okay, so we are set with the solver. Now let's type my pure convective form. Okay, so we are running for 0.5 second. Okay, so we run for 0.5 second with the help of the delta t equal to 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, what else we required? Okay, before we do, just check how the simulation progressed. So here we have a t field. Okay, so this is how our scalar is propagated inside the domain. And now what we do with exactly different CFL, we try to simulate it and try to compare the profiles. So for comparison purpose, what we are doing, we try to extract some sample. Okay, so what sample we are extracting? We are extracting the sample, nothing but this value. Okay, so what we are doing, let me show you what exactly we are extracting. So if this is the case, okay, so let's, with the help of the filter, line over in the x directions, apply. So this is what we are extracting. Okay, so for exactly latest time, we want to extract the data over the center line. That is the idea. Okay, so that is what exactly we want to do with the help of the one very nice utility, sample utility. In sample dict file we entered, so we entered the start and end and number of point equal to thousands, and it is raw data, a line centered profile we are extracting with the help of the this very nice sample utility. So at a latest time, if you do that, it try to extract the file. So where that file goes, it's try to generate new one folder as a post processing. Inside that set value, this is that particular line. Okay, so this all we discussed during our basic module, so I hope you remember this part. Okay, now we finish this for, let's say, one particular case, CFL equal to 0.01. in the similar line, we try to do the same calculation for all the CFL values, then at a time we try to compare. That is the idea. Okay, so let's say pure convections. Okay, and we require the sample value as well. Now let's go to the 003. Same way we run pure convections. We are changing the CFL numbers, that means we are changing the delta t. Okay, please understand that way. Okay, and then this. Okay, then go to next one, CFL1 pure convections. Okay, latest time, CFL equal to 5. We try to simulate it and then extract it. Then last one, CFL equal to 10. Okay, and then we have a very nice script available, that is I kept in the GNUplot. Okay, so if you want to see the script, it try to read from each and all the folders, set 0.5 whatever we extracted data, and try to compare with the exact solution as well, and exact solution data also I kept here. Okay, so then let's come out of it and let's say GNUplot. Okay, here at present, let's say I don't want output as a PDF. Okay, so I can switch off the output as a PDF, so we can see the on screen what is happening. New script. Okay, so what is failed, let me, okay, we supposed to go to the same folder, then it's going to work. CD GNUplot. Okay, and then GNUplot. Okay, so you have to enter inside the plot and then do that. Okay, so look, exact solution is this. As you change the delta t, how the solution is changing, you have an idea about that part. Okay, so with respect to the different CFL number, we change the delta t respectively, and accordingly the solution is entirely changed. Okay, so that is the very nice test case to have an idea about the CFL number, about the grid mesh size. So I suggest you also perform the similar type of the case for, let's say, fix the CFL equal to 0.1 or 0.01 and change the mesh size. Okay, so when you changing the mesh size, what going to happen, accordingly you have to also tune the delta t, don't forget that way. Okay, so CFL is the link between your mesh as well as your delta t. Okay, so when you tune the del CFL equal to 0.01, and when you change the let's say mesh size finer or coarser, okay, accordingly delta t is supposed to change and have a effect of different mesh size on the this propagation of the scalar quantity as a t. Okay, I also have a very nice study here along with this CFL. There is a scheme study as well, so let's try to explore this also for this test case very quickly. Okay, inside the scheme, let's say we go with first upwinding scheme. Okay, and CD upwinding scheme. Okay, so for that same thing we have to first run our solver. Okay, and then we try to extract the data. So here also test case is same, just we are running for different type of the scheme. So upwinding, then let's say go toward the linear upwinding scheme. Okay, pure convections data, then go towards linear scheme, that is center difference scheme, pure convection, sample extraction, then go towards the next scheme is a quick scheme. Okay, pure convection, sample data. Okay, I think that 4 scheme I have. Yeah, okay, so we are set with this. So let's go come out of it. Okay, J plot. Okay, and in the similar line, if you go to the GNU plot, okay, I have a script, but let's switch off the PDF writing of this particular output we want to see on the screen. Okay, so here we are reading from different schemes, and we are comparing the scheme for the same CFL number. Okay, so let's type GNU plot, GNU script. Okay, so here is the output for various class of the schemes. So exact solutions. Okay, then first let's say red. Okay, is for upwinding. So upwinding red is okay, not visible. Why? So let me see. We have a red, fine, upwinding scheme, correct. So let me for the moment delete this. Okay, later on we come back again. So let's see why it is not working. Yeah, it is there, it's only overlap with another one, that's all. Okay, so undo, let's say maybe it's overlap between two scheme, that is what happened, nothing else. Yeah, so it is exactly overlap between two. Blue is linear upwinding and upwinding is almost overlapped. Okay, so that is what happened over that. Okay, so this is how you can quickly check the solution for different class of the schemes and different mesh size for this very simplified test case. Okay, so sometimes this class of the test case is very helpful to tune the different type of the let's say discretization methods. Okay, or the grid generations, delta t fixing, CFL numbers, all these things one can tune based on the requirement with the help of this very simplified test case. Okay, so this is how one can very quickly add up the different class of the solvers. So what we covered in this discussion, so we started with the Laplacian equation 1D 2D, then wave equations. Okay, and then we go toward the heat equations where we only have a diffusion term and the temporal term. Okay, so 1D 2D diffusion, then we go to a convection diffusion equation where we have convective part as well as the diffusive part, then we go toward the pure convective type of the equations. Okay, so this is how we can create a very simplified class of the solvers for different class of equations. So, and whenever we want to create any class of new solver, first thing one has to do is first identify the most relevant solver from the release version of the OpenFOAM. So whatever the solver available, try to fix the most relevant solver based on your understanding. Pick up that solver, copy in your area. Okay, wherever you want to do that, first rename that particular solver, immediately rename the .c file. Okay, after that you without fail also rename inside the file folder, and when you are renaming based on the .c file, also rename the solver name. Okay, be consistent with the open form terminology, always keep at the end form. Okay, and don't forget to type user, as if you don't type it user, it sometime if you don't have access to that particular folder, it will give you the error. Okay, it's better to transfer whatever you are developing in your area, not in the release version area. Okay, so that is what one has to do. Immediately try to clean the C file, okay, based on your requirement. Okay, so clean whatever you don't need it. Always try to give some class of the description about that particular solver, okay, for later use. Okay, clean the part. So for that also try to check the create field file, whatever the field not required, delete that or comment that part. Okay, as well as whatever the you think that line is not necessary inside your solver, try to clean that lines. Okay, if required, you add few lines from the other solver that is available inside the release version. So whatever you think is not available in that particular solver, try to copy few entries from other class of the solver like icoform, simple, piezo, pimple, whatever you want. Okay, based on that one can quickly adapt the simulations based on that part. Okay, so now let's do the last things based on the application solver, basic solver. Okay, we're not going to create any test case, but we try to create the new type of the scalar transport form. Okay, so go to the my area. Okay, let's say paste scalar transport form. I am renaming it. Okay, in terms of new ways. So 006 scalar, let's say my scalar transport form. Okay, my scalar transport piezo form I am writing. So why I am writing I will tell you later on. Piezo form. Okay, my scalar transport piezo form. So similar way I can change the name here. Okay, I don't want to change any equation inside of it. Okay, what I want to change the algorithm. Right now if you look at the scalar transport is based on the simple algo, so I don't want the simple algo here. I want the my scalar based on the piezo algo. Without fail change the user form. Okay, scalar, let me clean the area. Okay, so what is the difference? If you look at here, we are reading the simple control. Okay, and we have a here simple base algorithm to solve that. In case of that, we try to add up the algo from the piezo base. So let's go to the incompressible icoform and let's open this area. Okay, so when you want to work with the piezo base algorithm, we require the piezo control. Okay, so 1 minute, we'll clean this area. Okay, before you do any modification, let's make sure our setting is correct. So go to that area, let's say wclean dot all wmake. Okay, so we have a same equation, but algorithm we are changing. Okay, so right now our algo is based on the simple control. Okay, so we want to change from simple to piezo control. So let it be same way, but in case of the simple control, here we are using the piezo control. So we are adapting that part here. Okay, and switch off the simple control. Fine. Then what else? Inside the run, we don't want to solve any momentum equation, but we want to add up the piezo corrector. Okay, so what I'm suggesting, let's look at the piezo corrector. Okay, so here in case of the simple corrector, we have a piezo corrector. Okay, so sorry, I want this line here. We say it is based on piezo corrector, so we say it is a piezo corrector, and inside of that we supposed to have piezo non-orthogonal corrector. That is exactly this same thing, piezo non-orthogonal corrector. So that is what we change here. So this is a piezo base calculations. Okay, here you will not see any much difference, but I just want to give you the idea how you can change the algorithm very quickly. Okay, so it is piezo base algorithm. Now let's see, can we compile it or not. Okay, so simple control is available in the simple mesh. Okay, where yeah, here. Okay, so in case of that, we supposed to generate the mesh, okay, based on the piezo control. So we supposed to have a piezo base mesh as compared to the simple base. So let slowly we try to fine. So we able to set my piezo form. Okay, so now our piezo form is set. Let's add up the tutorial quickly from the scalar transport release version tutorial, basic tutorial, scalar transport. Okay, so for the scalar transport, let's say this is the tutorial available. Okay, so let's add up the tutorial into our area. Let me open the okay, and what we do in the test case, let's say paste. Okay, and this test case I am changing as a my scalar transport test case. Okay, so rename it same name. Okay, so now first we have a two entry here. Is one is the scalar transport. Okay, so based on the scalar transport form, we try to simulate the same case. Okay, so scalar, in case of piezo, we say that let's solve with the scalar transport. Okay, so first quickly let's simulate with the help of the scalar transport, same thing. Okay, so block mesh, para form, let's see what exactly we have. Fine, we have a temperature. Okay, and what now let's simulate it as a scalar transport form. Okay, look at the result. Okay, so this is how exactly entire T is transported within the this backward facing step type of the tutorial. Okay, now in case of this, let's create a new folder. Okay, where we say it is not a scalar transport, we say my scalar transport piezo form. Okay, so my scalar transport piezo form base test case we want to run it. Okay, so what change required at the test case level, let's observe that. Okay, so we go here. Okay, we type my scalar transport piezo form. It first give you the error about the piezo keyword. Okay, so because we that keyword is missing in the FV solution, so that change is required. So go to the FV solution area. Okay, here we have a simple, we require the piezo base keyword. So from where you adapt, go to the incompressible icoform cavity and on the solution area we have a piezo base value. So from here adapt that value in case of the simple base value. Okay, now switch off this. Okay, now n character is the outer character. If you want, you can retain it. Right now let's retain that. Okay, so we have idea now. It's done. Okay, so within a one time step, we scalar transport end of this thing. Wait a minute. So piezo character. Okay, so we required that is a piezo character. Okay, but that character is supposed to be Okay, so we have a piezo corrector. Okay, so run, it's supposed to be something like this display. Run dot loop supposed to be here. Okay, in case of this, so run while and this control X. Okay, so and within that we can say that it is our solver. Okay, so that is the correct way to look at. We run till the end of the time. Okay, so if you change again, I made it. Now run it. Okay, so look what is happening in a per iteration. Okay, per time step we have a multiple corrector. Okay, so sometime if you think that it's not solving, so you have a n corrector, that is what we increase here. Okay, so let me finish the task. So within per time step we make sure that it's converging very nicely. Okay, Terraform. Okay, so this is the our piezo base solver result. Okay, and we also have a solver result based on the previous scalar transport. Okay, so let me copy this and at a time let's open both the things. Paste it. Okay, so let me open the next one as well. Scalar transport, light. Okay, so scalar, almost same result we can see. Okay, but if you want to exactly check what is the difference, let's create the one line. Okay, it's y, let it be there, apply. Okay, similar line, let's create the line. Y, apply it. Okay, and then switch off this and also switch off this, so we have a one-to-one mapping for both the case. Okay, so its solver is different but answer is same. Okay, so that is what one can quickly adopt different class of algorithm as well. So what we did, we adapted the algo from the ICO form, but I forgot to keep this while run loop. Okay, so at the end I fix this, and inside of this we have multiple corrector. For each corrector we have non-orthogonal corrector. That is the idea about the piezo loop. So one inside the piezo corrector we have multiple non-orthogonal corrector. Okay, so that is the piezo based algorithm. Okay, so that is what we adapted, and when we are working with the piezo, we have to include the piezo control and the piezo control base mesh. Okay, so that is piezo control and piezo mesh in compared to the simple mesh, because it is not available there. Okay, so this is how one can quickly add up the few solvers. Okay, so in the similar line you can pick up any of the textbooks related to computational fluid dynamics, look at it exercise, and whatever in the exercise they mention few of the test cases, create the solver, solve it with the help of the open form, and try to learn as much as you can. Okay, so don't restrict yourself to development of only these few 6 or 4 solver. Try to pick up any textbook well known in the CFD. Okay, in each textbook they have a couple of exercise, so from that exercise you can create the solver and simulate it. Okay, so here we stop about discussion about this simple solver development.